Hey, welcome back to Bobb-z Callahan's Word of Advice. And before I get into talking about what I'm going to talk about for this video, I'm sure some of you out there may be wondering, what the heck happened to most of my hair? Well, if you have not kept up with my posts on the Word of Advice Facebook page, it is true that just a few days ago, on January 24th, 2014, I finally went to get my hair cut. And this time, I had a mullet which I could donate to Locks of Love. The reason why I could do it this time, compared to a few years ago, is that this time my mullet was not dyed, and because of that, I was able to donate my hair. Unlike the previous time when I had a blonde mullet, because of the chemicals in the hair dye, I've been told that Locks of Love really doesn't want to take hair like that, so I grew my mullet out a second time, didn't dye it, took care of it, and I finally accomplished a goal which I've wanted to accomplish for quite some time. So that explains why most of my hair is gone, but it's gone to a good cause, and now you see me with shorter hair, and yes, I had it dyed a little bit red. So I just wanted to clarify that in case you haven't kept up with the Facebook posts. And now that we've gotten that clarified, let's get back to Bobb-z Callahan's Word of Advice. So for this Word of Advice video, this was a topic I wanted to talk about, especially since it can relate to me very recently. Taking time off. And the reason this can relate to me is because, well, very recently I have just had a few weeks away on Christmas break. And then, due to how my college has this new thing called a J term, you can basically go to school and take classes for 3 weeks, goof off for 3 weeks, maybe find a temporary job for 3 weeks. Well, in my case, I was very fortunate to have the privilege of going to Europe for 3 weeks. And not only was it a vacation, but it's also going to help me get credit for an independent study, which I'm doing in school. And I was just kind of thinking about how when I was away in Europe, I technically had some time off from everything I normally do the rest of the time. Normally, I am either doing homework, I'm making Word of Advice videos constantly, or I'm doing a lot of ministry work. And while I definitely enjoy the challenge of all of those things, you know, we all deserve some time off from the normal things we do, and I know I needed some time off from doing those things. And I believe that taking time off is good for all of us, because in this life, as we know, we all get a little bit busy after a while, and if we don't take a decent break from the normal routine which we are going through, we are likely to start getting tired, and we may not feel as passionate about what we normally do because we simply haven't taken some time off. And we all deserve some time off because all of us simply need to recharge. We need to give our minds a break. We need to give our bodies a break. We all need to rest and just get away from the normal routine for a little bit. Now, if you are in a position where you have a job or you have school to deal with, should you take an enormous amount of time away from school or your job? I would say no. I mean, now, depending on the circumstances with school, you know, if you're working to support yourself paying for school, okay, I see that. Now, if you have a job and you only have like 2 weeks or 3 weeks vacation time for the whole year, okay, I think that's a reasonable amount of time to take off from your job. You know, that's better than taking 2 months off. But overall, when we take time off, it's good to take a reasonable amount of time off, not too much, but a reasonable amount of time. And during that time, one thing I would recommend, if you have the chance to just be away from everything, from the normal routine, you have a chance to rest and also maybe do something that you haven't done before. If you are in a fortunate circumstance, maybe you could think about going on a trip to somewhere that you have never been before. In my case, I just went to Europe and I had never been to Europe before, and I thought it was a blast. And I thought that was a good way of spending some time off from the normal routine that I normally go through in life. Now, for those of you out there who are thinking, well shoot, I'm not that fortunate enough to take a big trip somewhere, or I don't feel like it. Okay, there are still plenty of other options which you could think about if you're trying to do something new for a little bit. Let's say that maybe you want to think of a new hobby and you have this time off to really possibly get into this hobby. That could be an awesome idea. Me, I like drawing, and I know while drawing is nothing new to me, I've drawn for most of my life, I still get a kick out of keeping up that hobby. And whether drawing is something new to you or not, maybe that's something which you could think about. Something new for you to do in your time off away from everything. There are plenty of options on how we can spend our time off from everything. In the end, we all deserve some time to rest, and we all deserve some time to get into something new that we haven't tried before. When it comes to free time, just remember, we all deserve some free time. Now, should we take an enormous amount of time off? I wouldn't recommend it unless, there are some very special circumstances. But we all deserve a reasonable amount of time off from the normal routine, which we all go through in life, whatever that looks like for you. And when you have time off from your normal routine, be sure to use it wisely, because eventually we all get back into the normal routine which we have been going through for a while, and for some people they look forward to it, for some of us they don't, but we all deserve some free time, and while we have it, before you get back into the normal routine, enjoy that free time off from everything. So with that, I certainly hope what I had to talk about in this video made sense and will be helpful to you. Remember, be sure to take your time off when you can and use it wisely. Be sure to come back for another word of advice video.